Hi friends, welcome to IAS in College Connect YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to discuss about how to set the validation for the template driven form. In previous videos, we discussed about how to track the user transaction with the forms by using the different states like dirty, touch and valid. In these videos, we are going to use all this state and how to write the validations for the particular user controls. Right. So we are going to see the implementations of how to set the validation for the template driven form. This is the previous video's output. Now we are going to write the validation for this particular username. Here, for that, I'm just going to remove all these conditions. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to write a ngIf conditions for this particular username. Okay, so first I'm just going to check if the user required field is get satisfied or not. For that, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to write one div tag. So under this div tag, I'm just going to write one conditions. That is what the condition is ngIf by using ngIf star ng sorry div star ng if that is here you see by using this username only we are going to track the state of this or particular control, right? Okay, so I'm going to use username question mark and colon, and it is going to throw an error, right? Okay, so then in this error I'm just going to check if the valid, okay, so if it is invalid, sorry, if it is required is satisfied, okay, I'm going to set an error message. Okay, so what the required field default it is going to do, it is going to return true, right? Okay, so I'm just going to write the conditions. If the values is going to be true, then I'm going to write some paragraph tag. This field is required. Okay, so now you see I'm just going to run this code, and here you see this field is required. Now I'm just going to type some information. Now you see after typing this information, this field is this error message is printed, right? Okay. So Vinod. Okay. So here what I'm returning on here means, so I'm just going to check whether this username is having the errors is going to be required, is returning the values is true or not. If it is going to be returned true, that is the user is not type anything, right? What is the default values for the validity is going to return? It is going to return true, right? Okay. So here we are going to check it. Okay. Or else in the else part, I'm just going to check else part itself. Okay, so the name I'm going to write in the template, ng template, ng hyphen template, and I'm just going to give hash else part. I'm going to write this condition is satisfied. Okay, so now you see here initially this setting the message that this field is required. I'm going to type some values. Now you see it's going to print the else part. So I'm just going to use some style color for this paragraph. Okay, so color is going to be red color. Why? Because it's a warning message. Okay, so then size, I'm just going to set it as 12 pixels. So same, I'm going to write it for this particular control. Control C, paragraph tag, control V. Okay, so here instead of red color, I'm just going to change it to some green colors. Okay, so here you see initially is displaying the error message that user this field is required, I'm just going to type some values. Username condition is get satisfied. No, now you see we are going to write one common conditions. Okay, so that is invalid. Okay, so suppose I'm going to write the pattern. So the pattern is it contains a text box. Text will contain small capital letter and upper letter and then numbers. Okay, so I'm just going to write a pattern for that. I'm going to write the regular expression. For that, I'm going to use the pattern. So here the pattern is going to be start with the symbol and end with the dollar symbol. Okay, so inside this, I'm going to put the square bracket and I'm going to write all the condition. I want this text box will contain the values small capital letter to upper capital small letter A to Z and capital letter A to Z and then 0 to 9. Okay, so it should contains this combination as well as it will be going to contain dot as well as underscore. Okay, so it is contains all these combinations. Okay, so now I am just going to write how much character I require. Okay, so I need 3 to 20 characters. 3 to 20 characters. Here you see we written the pattern. Okay, so it will be contains two conditions. One is required, another one is pattern. So instead of go only with the required, we are going to check whether the invalid, that is the state. Okay, so we are going to track the state of this particular text box. Which text box? This particular text box. So instead of for that, I'm just what I'm going to do. I'm just going to remove this. What I written is the particular username will contains capital letter, capital A to Z and small a to Z and contains the 0 to 9 and will contains a dot or underscore. How much character it will contains means minimum of 3, maximum of 20. So now I'm going to write the condition for this. So now we are going to create one div tag. So inside this div tag, we are going to check both the condition. One is required, another one is pattern. For that, I'm going to get the state of this particular control. So I'm going to use ng if equal to. So I'm going to get the control for this. That is a username. This one is holding the controls, right? Okay, so username, this one. Okay, so this one, username. Okay, so question mark dot. Okay, so I'm going to get the invalid state. Okay, so invalid, it is initially going to return true only. Okay, so here it is going to initially return true. So if it is invalid, then I am going to check the further condition. Okay, so what the further conditions? First thing we are going to check whether it is going to be required or not. Okay, so required condition is satisfied or not. So I'm going to write the paragraph tag. So inside this star ng if equal to same the control for this particular text box is username question mark dot. Okay, so here inside this, I'm going to check whether the required condition is satisfied or not. In case if it is required condition is get satisfied, I'm just going to print the message. Okay, so what message I'm going to get? So sorry, I need to use the errors too here. Okay, so then dot errors question mark dot. Okay, so if the required condition is not satisfied, what error message we want to print? Okay, so here I'm going to mention this is username is required, or else I'm just going to type user name is required. Okay, so now you see I'm just going to print this value in the red color. Okay, so that I'm just going to use the style. Okay, so color red color. Okay, so then font size which I'm going to set it for 12 pixels. Then sorry, done. Okay, so now we are going to set another conditions. What the another conditions, which is pattern, right? Okay, so this particular text box will contains the values like this. So it contains small a to z, capital A to z, that should be followed by 0 to 9 and dot or underscore. So it should contains the combinations of this character, these values. So should contains 3 to 20 characters. So we are going to check for this pattern also. How to write the pattern for this? Outside write the condition for this pattern ng if equal to username username. Okay, so colon, sorry, username, question mark, dot, error. Okay, so question mark, errors. Okay, so then another question mark, dot. Okay, so here you see what the conditions. We are going to check the pattern, right? In case if the pattern is not satisfied, we are going to type the values, that is um, mm, username should be between 3 to 20 characters. Okay, so here also I'm just going to write the style tag like this. Okay, so now you see we're going to do the refresh. Now, first it is going to execute this condition. It is going to return invalid. It is going to return true, right? So that first it is going to get inside. First it is going to check this condition. It's going to return. It is going to check this required value is not satisfied, so that it is printing username is required. Now you see after I'm going to type some values. Okay. So immediately you see the another condition is get executed. That is another condition what it is. So username should be between 3 to 20 characters. So here we are setting the conditions for the pattern. Okay, so that it is printing the username should be between 3 to 20. Okay, so now you see I'm just going to type small a, small v, and capital V. Okay, so on numbers. Okay, so now you see the error is went. Okay, so this is a way how we are going to write the conditions for one particular pattern. Okay, so now you see I'm just going to write one more control, that is submit button. Okay, so for that I'm just going to write the input type equal to submit. Here I am going to implement the property binding, that is disabled. Okay. So here this text box, this submit button is going to be get disabled until the given condition is get satisfied. How to implement this? Okay. So here you see I'm just going to write one simple text submit button. Okay. So here when the user is going to click the submit button, it is going to take our data and going to move to the TypeScript file. So for that, I'm just going to use, uh, sorry, on submit, ng on submit. Here I'm going to use the method. I'm going to call the method get info method. Okay, so what this get info method is going to do, it is just going to get the values which is present on the text box and it is going to display it on the text, alert message. Okay, so I'm going to move to the TypeScript file. Here I'm going to create a method get info. Okay, so here inside this, I'm going to write the alert message. So I'm just going to print this dot welcome plus this dot Reggie dot username semicolon. Okay, so now what I written inside this TypeScript file, I created one message method, that is a get info. In this get info, I'm just going to print an alert message, the values which is given on the text box by the user. So now we are moving to this HTML file. Here you see when the user is going to click the submit button, it takes us to this particular method get info. Okay, so why? Because we are using ng on submit. Okay, so ng on submit method is going to be get called and it is going to take to this get info method and it is going to print the values which is present on this particular text box. Okay, so now I'm going to save this. I'm proceeding to this particular control. Why it is not showing? Okay, so here we are having the items, right? Okay, so save this. Now you see we got the text box, right, and button also. Now I'm going to type the values. Now you see we are getting this another error message. Okay, so I'm just going to type three characters. Okay, so it is maybe the combinations of small letter, capital letter, numbers, dot or underscore, or it may be any of this. Okay, so I'm just going to write only three characters. Okay, so here why it is, so we return this in text box inside this div condition, that is inside this control, right? Inside this control we include this submit button, so I'm going to write it outside. Okay, so now first letter is going to pop up another error message. Now you see we got this. We don't get any error message. I'm going to click the submit button. Here you see welcome bin. Okay, so now what I'm going to do until the this particular condition is get satisfied, until the given condition is get satisfied, this alert message should not be pop up. Okay, so I'm going to disable this submit button. How it is possible means, so for that I'm going to give a naming for this form. Okay, so that is by using hash. Okay, so Reggie, form name is Reggie, name, any, you can give any name. Okay, so then I'm going to give, this is going to be ng form. Okay, so what I'm going to do, okay, so I'm going to write the property binding, that is disabled. Okay, equal to this name. Which name? This particular form name. What is the form name? Reggie name, right? Okay, so what is the form name? It is a Reggie name. Okay, so that is Reggie name dot valid. Okay, so here I'm going to put not valid. Okay, so initially this particular submit button is get disabled. Okay, until all the condition is get satisfied. Okay, so here you see initially this particular text box is get disabled. Okay, so now you see I'm just going to type this one value till it need to satisfy the given condition. The value username should be 3220. I'm going to type some more values. Now you see this text box is get activated. Now we can able to click the text box. This is the way how we are going to implement the property binding and how to implement validations for one particular user control. Okay, so this is a simple. First, you need to write the input box, then you are going to write the conditions. Okay, so this valid is going to write check the conditions for both pattern as well as for the required. Once this both the conditions get satisfied, then only it is going to proceed to this. Then only it is going to enable the submit button. But have you noted one thing? So this username is required is keep on pop-upping. Okay, so even though we are loading it, okay, so this messages keep on pop-upping. How to avoid this? So for that, what we need to do, we need to write one more conditions. Okay, so okay, so here we are going to write whether the user is going to be touch or dirty. Okay, so then only this error message should pop up. Okay, so for that, I'm just going to write, um, sorry. So username, same username. Uh, I'm going to write these conditions inside this parenthesis. Why? Because we are going to check both the condition. Username dot question mark dot. Okay, so if it is dirty. Okay, so if it is dirty or username question mark dot if it is touched. Okay, so here until and unless, okay, so user is going to touch this text box, this pop-up message will not be pop up. Okay, so the error message will not appear. Okay, so here you see we don't have the error message. Okay, now you see I'm just touch this control box and move outside, then only this error message is pop-upping. Or else I'm just typing some values, then only the error message, further error message is going to throw. Okay, so here you see now you understand, right? Okay, so how the 30 is clutch is working, which I already explained on previous video. Please go through it. Okay, so first it is going to check whether it is invalid or it is going to check is that any one of these condition is get triggered. Okay, so any one of this get condition is get triggered. This particular text box, and I'm going to click the register. Now it's pop-upping the message. Okay, so hope you understand how to implement validations on the template driven form. The same way we can write for the password, email, and for the mobile number also. Okay, only thing is the pattern you need to change accordingly. Okay, got it. So hope you understand how to implement the validations on the template driven form. If you like this video, please share this video with your friends. Thank you.